Hello guys, today we're doing lesson 144, page 287 and 288. So for number 1, there are 4 objects and we need to figure out what part of this group is made up of chipmunks. It says mark the circle under the fraction for the number of chipmunks in the group. The first thing I would like you to do is count the number of objects. How many objects do you see? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 objects. That gives us the answer right away because we know that the total number in a fraction is the bottom number. And there's only one option there that has 4 as the bottom number, but we'll get to that in a second. How many out of this group of 4 is made up of chipmunks? 1. There is 1 chipmunk. So 1/4 of this group of objects is a chipmunk. So we fill in the circle for 1/4. All right, number 2, we're going to do a graph. We haven't done graphs in a little bit. Color the graph to show how many animals the children saw on their Rocky Mountain camping trip. So it looks like they saw some elk, moose, blue jay, bighorn sheep, and marmots. So that would be fun to see those animals, wouldn't it? I think I've seen a couple of them. I've never seen a real live bighorn sheep out in nature or a marmot, but I've seen an elk, and I guess I haven't seen a moose either. Anyway, moving on. So we first are going to look at the graph and take a look at the numbers. I want you to think about how many does each box represent. The way to tell this is by looking at these numbers on the side. It goes from 0 to 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 and to 10, which means each box represents 2. So when we fill in the blocks, we have to really be remembering that because we don't want to say, oh, there are 10 elk, let's fill in 10 boxes, because that would actually represent 20 elk. And of course, this graph doesn't even go up to 20, so it wouldn't be an option, and hopefully you would figure out, oh, wait, I'm doing something wrong if that happened. So, okay, let's start with elk because that's the first one on the graph. They saw 10 elk. So we come up to the graph, we find elk, and we go, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, we're going to fill all the boxes in. And you know how I like to do it. I kind of make a box inside, and then I like to draw slanted lines because it seems to be faster. But you can take your time and color it in if you want. I just don't want to use up that time on the video. All right, so they saw 10 elk. How many moose did they see? Let's find the moose down here. They only saw 2 moose. So how many boxes will we fill in? Remember, it goes from 0 to 2 right away. We don't fill in 2 boxes. How many do we fill in? 1. Because each box represents 2. They saw 2 moose. The line is right here, all the way over. 2 moose. All right, let's find how many blue jays they saw. The page tells us that they saw 8 blue jays. So we're going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. Or another way you could do it is come over to the side and look for the 8 and just come across and draw a mark so you know where to stop, and then fill in the graph. Okay, bighorn sheep. They saw 6 bighorn sheep. So let's go find the 6, come across right to there. Okay, and fill in 6. 2, 4, 6. And finally, marmot. How many marmots did they see? Well, they saw 4. So how many boxes do we need to fill in? 4. 2 boxes, 2, 4. Okay, And that's what your graph should look like. Let's move on. Write the times and temperatures at the campground. Let's review which hand is the hour hand. It's the shorthand. The hour hand is the shorthand. Now it looks like the hour hand is pointing right to the 5, but if we go and we look at the long hand, which is the minute hand, we can see that it's very close to the 12. We're only 5 minutes away from 12. So we haven't actually hit the 5 o'clock mark yet. So in the hour, it is still 4. And how many minutes are past 4? Well, we count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. It's 4:55. And the thermometer. So the temperature, just like the graph above that we did, it moves up by 2 degrees for every line. So the dark line stops at 70 degrees right here, but there's a little bit more, so we go up by 2s. So 70, 72, but it goes even a little bit higher than that, not all the way to 74. So that one is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. The next clock, go ahead and try to figure out the clock and the temperature. I'll give you a minute here, and then I will tell you the answers. Okay, the hour hand is the shorthand. It's halfway between the 6 and the 7. It did not arrive to the 7 yet. It's still in the 6 o'clock hour. And the long hand or the minute hand is at the 4. If you don't know yet, let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. It is 6:20 a.m. And now for the temperature. Well, the red mercury goes up to 50 plus 2, 52, and then a little bit, it's halfway between the 2 and the 4, so it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, great job, guys. We're going to just continue on with the other side for this video because these are shorter pages to complete. What is 8 plus 9? Hopefully you said 17. 8 plus 9 is 17. How about 12 plus 8? It is 20. 11 plus 6. 17. And 17 minus 2 is 15. Moving on, 27 minus 9. Well, we can't take 9 things away from 7 things, so we're going to borrow 1 from this 10's place, and there's 1 left. We're going to add the 10 to the 7 for 17. 17 minus 9 equals 8. And 1 minus nothing is 1. All right, moving on, we have 8 plus 9. It's actually 38 plus 9, but we're adding the 1's first, and 8 plus 9 equals what? 17. We're seeing the 8 and 9 together for the 3rd time now. Carry the 1, and 1 plus 3 equals 4. So that one is 47. And finally, 20 minus 6 equals what? Well, you can't take 6 away from 0, so let's borrow from the 2 10's, and now we have 1 10. Add 10 to 0, and that's 10. What is 10 minus 6? 4. And 1 minus nothing is 1, so the answer for that one is 14. Number 2, mark the correct answer. Mark NH if the answer is not here. So sometimes on standardized tests, they will give you answers, but the correct answer isn't there all the time. And that makes it a little harder. So you have to really know your stuff when you have problems with the selection not here or none. Sometimes it says none of the above, because yeah, it's not like, oh, this is here, this is what I think the answer is, definitely this has to be it, because it can't be even close to the other options. So you have to really be careful here. What is 7 plus 8? 15, and the answer is here, so we fill in the circle for 15. B, 0, we have 50 plus 32 plus 27, so starting in the ones column, 0 plus 2 is 2, and 2 plus 7 is 9. We don't have anything to carry. 5 plus 3 plus 2, that's 10. So when we have this situation, sometimes it confuses you. But when there's nowhere to carry the 1, 2, you just bring it right straight down. 10. Is that answer here for us to choose? Yes, it is, 109. All right, C, blank plus 5 equals 13. Which number plus 5 equals 13? Is it 6, 7, 8, or none of those? It's 8. 8 plus 5 equals 13. D, 50 minus 30. For this, you can just know that 0 minus 0 is 0. And what's 5 minus 3? 2. So the answer is 20. If you write it down, you can see 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. The answer is 20, and it is here, so we can fill in the circle for 20. All right, E, 731 minus 126. Pause the video and work that one out. All right, I'm going to show you the problem, and hopefully you get the same answer as I do. So 1 minus 6, not going to work. Can't take 6 things away if we only have 1. So let's go over to the tens place. There are 3 tens. We can take one of those. We can borrow one, move it over to the ones column. So let's cross off the 3 and make that a 2, and then cross off the 1 and add that 10 that we borrowed to it, which makes that, I'm sorry, that's not correct. That should be 11. Okay, and 11 minus 6 is 5. 2 minus 2 is 0, and 7 minus 1 is 6. The answer is 605. Is that in one of our choices? No, it's not. This is why I say you need to be careful, because you might come over and look at these and say, wait a minute, I must have done something wrong. It's probably 615 or 705, because that's where it's one number off from the answer we got. But you have to be confident, double check it, and then say, nope, the answer is not here. I know it's 605, so I'm going to put not here. All right, guys, what's 12 times 5? Twelve times 5 is 60. 2 into 22, or 22 divided by 2. How many are in each equal group of 2 if we put 22 into 2 equal groups? Hopefully you said 11, because remember 11 times 2 is 22. But 11 is not here, so we're going to choose NH for not here. And finally, letter H, we have 7 plus 8 equals what? It's 15. And 15 plus 3 is 18. So we fill in the circle for 18. And that means that we are done with lesson 144. I hope you guys understood everything. I think this was a pretty straightforward, simple lesson to do, and I hope you had a lot of fun with it.